Well, hello, everybody. I am Louise Eddington, the Cosmic Owl of Cosmic Owl Astrology, here today in my most Venusian of items of clothing to talk to you about Venus entering the sign of Pisces. She's going to enter Pisces from January the 26th until February the 20th. Now, Venus is exalted in Pisces. This is the placement of higher love, of rose-tinted spectacles, of seeing everything through this beautiful kind of cloud of beauty and sparkle. I love Venus in Pisces. It's the most beautiful placement. In my opinion, even nicer in some ways than the signs she rules, which are Libra and Taurus. I'm also always very excited when Venus goes into Pisces because it squares all my mutable energy, but more important than that, this Venus in Pisces is coming just at the right time. We've been through, I'm recording this just on the Aquarius new moon, just after, on January the 22nd, 4 days before Venus goes into Pisces. We've been through a month of 4 planetary changes of direction. We had Aries stationing direct, we had Mars stationing direct, then Mercury, then Uranus is stationing direct on the day that I'm recording this. And things have been very frenetic, very erratic, and really just quite challenging in many ways. And here we get Venus coming in as if to say, all right, let's heal a little bit. Let's move into love, because love is all there is and love is all that matters. So I pulled a card for this, but I'll show you the card in a second. How we're going to do this is I'm going to look at the journey of Venus going through Pisces on the chart. I'm going to look at the major aspects. I'm going to look at a couple of symbols along the way of one of the major aspects of Venus's journey through Pisces. And then I'm going to look at all signs. But first, the card. Now, I pulled the card from a new deck that I've just unboxed. And this is the Red Seeds Tarot. And you can see that this is about the Eleusinian mysteries, which were goddess mysteries in the ancient times. This is where Demeter or Ceres went to become a priestess after her journey with Persephone in the underworld. And they actually sent me a red thread with a little pomegranate on it as well with this deck. And so we're entering into the most goddessy energy. So this deck feels so appropriate. And I am going to read from this book because the interpretation in the book is very specific to this tarot. Now, the card that I pulled is the Seeker of Torches. Now, torches is the ones in a lot of decks, and this is really the page. The page is a new, is always an element of like seeking new experiences, seeking new understanding, and so on. So we're going to read the text for the Seeker of Torches. She first of all gives us a quote: "The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled." Plutarch. And she says, I am excited. So get excited about Venus moving into Pisces. So this is the youth of the hearth. The hearth initiates were young male youths who were selected each year to play the part of Demophon. It was a great honor for them and their family to be chosen for such a role. This is at the Eleusinian Mysteries, by the way. The youth would be part of the processions and ceremonies, and on the final day of the mysteries, the youth would sit in the courtyard and bless the Mystae, who were kind of the priestesses, as they walked towards the initiation temple for the very last time. It seems that he also took part in the climatic fire spectacle within the initiation temple that symbolized the birth of the divine child. The youth service was honored by becoming a lifelong initiate of the mysteries. Now, the soul journey of this card, again, I'm going to show you. Here sits a youthful energy full of vitality and verve. If a journey, inner or outer, beckons, it beckons us, be assured it will be bringing a time of adventure, creativity, and enthusiasm into our lives. The seeker describes a carefree, confident soul who is often restless and needs the feeling of freedom in their life. This youthful energy would be wise to not become overinflated, as there is so much still to learn. Excitement rises as we probably can consider a variety of possibilities. Hopefully, grace will be remembered too. The seeker will never live a vicarious life and always wants to live their life to the absolute full. Seize the day. Now, Venus in Pisces is kind of naive. It is kind of this innocent kind of innocent girl energy. And so the seeker of torches really kind of fits that, in my opinion, this new journey into surrender and creativity and just magic and sparkle. So let's look at the chart for Venus ingress into the sign. So Venus will ingress into Pisces at 9:32 p.m. Eastern time. So work out for your own time zone. This is actually 6:32 p.m. on the West Coast Pacific time. And it's going into another day. It'll be the 27th Universal Time. So that will be 2:32 a.m. on the 27th. And it'll be on the 27th for most of you who are in Australia and New Zealand and other areas to the west of where I am. Okay, so Venus ingresses into Pisces, we can see that, and is joining, this is Centaur Nessus, I'll talk about that as we go through, joining Neptune and joining Vesta in the sign. Okay, so at that time. Other things to note, because we're only 4 days away from this as I record this, is that Mars has moved off his retrograde degree, direct station degree. Mercury has now moved 4 degrees, so things are starting to settle in and move forward. Aries has actually moved off her station point by 1 minute. Uranus is still at his station degree, but we'll see that change as we move through this energy. Now, Venus makes no major aspects at first. I'm only looking at the major aspects, which are squares, oppositions, and conjunctions. She will make some more minor aspects, and I'll be looking at those on my daily posts as we go through. But I don't want to look at every little aspect through this. I just want us to soak up the energy of Venus in Pisces as she moves through it. But I will mention briefly that she does actually sextile the North Node and trine the South Node. And the North Node is Venus ruled, and she is moving towards that North Node to our karmic potential, to what we're yearning to move towards. And that is a more value-driven, sustainable future. And so we've been working on that for a year since the nodes have been in the signs of Taurus and Scorpio. But Venus is heading towards that as she moves through Pisces. Okay, so we've got that. Now, the first major aspect is actually going to be Venus square Mars. So that's on February the 4th. Venus is going to move to 11 degrees, and Mars will have moved from 8 degrees to 11 degrees, still retracing his retrograde steps. But this is at 11 degrees, which is a gateway number, a master number. Venus and Mars has kind of been reflecting and thinking about his drive and will and action. Where is he too assertive? Where is he need to kind of rein it in and be more of a guardian? That's what my opinion of Mars retrograde journey through Gemini has been. And now we have Venus and Mars squaring off, and Venus is then eventually going to start moving towards Mars, but they won't catch up for quite some time, but we'll look at that later. But this is a real opportunity to change the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. That's quite a pivotal day as the moon, as Venus squares the planet Mars. The next major aspect that she's going to make is a conjunction. And she is going to conjunct, there we go. She is going to conjunct Centaur Nessus. And Nessus is one of the newly discovered centaurs. He means the buck stops here. So there's a feeling with this one of saying, I'm tired of people not being loving and kind to each other. And it's time we stop that. The buck stops here. It's like we have to remember that we are really interconnected, and everything that, you know, we do affects other people. And so it's in opposite to the Virgo moon at that time, which is kind of nice as well, because that's bringing it down for the practically mystic aspect, as I love, axis of the zodiac, as I love to call it, and is saying, how can we be more useful? How can we be kinder to each other and serve each other? Now you'll notice as well that this aspect is in an almost exact aspect, wedge aspect to Uranus in Venus ruled Taurus, and Uranus is now moving forward. He's off his retrograde point, and things are really starting to move forward with all major planets direct from today, as I record this, January the 22nd to April the 21st. So it's like, let's make it moving. Let's bring radical change. Let's bring more love into the world. I'm an idealist, but then I have Venus Neptune conjunct at the top of my chart. So, you know, I want the world to be a better place, and I think we all do. You'll notice that Vesta has moved out of Pisces, though. So, you know, we've got slightly less Piscean emphasis for a little while. But Venus is approaching Neptune, and Neptune is so Piscean that they are really in sign conjunction as soon as she enters the sign of Pisces. We've got Neptune in Pisces for a couple more years, and so that's what's bringing a lot of delusion and illusion and kind of craziness in the world. That's one of the things that's bringing it, but there's also bringing some magic and heightened spirituality and heightened connection with whatever the collective unconscious is, or this cosmic soup that we are a part of. Okay, so the next big aspect is actually an exact opposition to Lilith. Okay, let's look at that. This is asteroid Lilith. This is not Black Moon Lilith. That's a whole other thing that we'll be looking at other times. But here's Venus over here. She's now just within 2 degrees of a conjunction with Neptune, and she is going to oppose asteroid Lilith. And this is the original divine feminine. The asteroid Lilith is the one that was made from the same sediment as Adam in the myth. The Black Moon Lilith is the rejected Lilith. Asteroid Lilith is here going, I'm here, I'm whole. You're not going to kind of put baby in the corner, if you like. And she's in the sign of Virgo, which is very much related to the priestesshood and to the Eleusinian mysteries. So we're bringing all of these things back in. So it's going to be quite a magical journey through this. But then the big aspect of the day, or of the journey through this sign, is the conjunction with Neptune. Now we'll be feeling this most of the time, but Venus reaches the conjunction with Neptune on February the 15th, 2023, which is just 5 days before she leaves the sign. And this is a really big energy, all right? You know, this is, we get this every time Venus comes through Neptune, of course, But, you know, there's various aspects like this opposition to Lilith. We're also going to be quickly looking at a couple of squares that she's going to make to Hecate. I'll talk about more about that, and to the witch Circe. But you can see actually that Neptune and Venus are at 24 degrees and 4 minutes in a square to Circe the witch, in the visionary kind of energy. This is alchemy. This is how can we bring everybody together in this big alchemical pot and remember that everything is totally interconnected. Okay, so this is a real opportunity to feel into that interconnectedness and to remember that, you know, it's like the quantum theory of if a butterfly flaps its wings here, it does something over there. You know, the energy ripples out. So look, I want to just look at the symbols quickly for the conjunction with Neptune, because this is what we're going to be feeling pretty much for Venus's whole time through the sign of Pisces. So the Chandra symbol is people and animals frightened during an eclipse. So it's the shock of the unexpected can wake us up so that we see our reality in a new way. There is nothing to be afraid of here. I'm reading the words of John Sandbach, by the way, who channeled these Chandra symbols. There's nothing to be afraid of here, but the people and animals do not know this until after only a few minutes normality returns. And so it's to be remembered that even though solar eclipses only happen about twice a year, this degree lives continually in that state of surprise that the eclipse has produced. It's always tapping into the strangeness of life and the energies at work beneath the surface and beyond the pale that our perceptions have set up. Now, I'm reminded of the second attention with this conjunction and with this thing. The eclipses literally kind of help us reset and see things differently. So this degree has the ability to tap into a greater reality that can subtly and sometimes quite overtly shock into new awarenesses. And those awarenesses have to do with bringing that which was unconscious into alignment with the consciousness, so that insight is gained into the hidden aspects of the self. Okay, so this is quite magical, really. We're going to get these amazing kind of creative visions into new aspects of the self and the world. And so the Sabian symbol for this conjunction is a religious organization succeeds in overcoming the corrupting influence of perverted practices and materialized ideals. Rudyard's keynote for this Sabian symbol is the power of the soul to intervene in the personal life and to induce necessary catharses. Okay. So this says that every person is a church that has the soul as its God, but most men or humans forget the soul and live according to dogmatic rules and habits, which not only have become empty of inner meaning, but very often have been perverted by the demands of the senses and the emotional nature, and by the ego with its rationalizing intellect. A purging or catharsis is needed to restore not only fresh and creative spontaneity, but even more the contact with the soul and the God-ordained Dharma. He says at the end that because the final consummation of the process of actualization of the potency inherent in the original creative act requires moments of crisis and purification. So both the symbols really kind of are speaking to this kind of energy of reset, purification, clear something out, reset it, see things differently, this kind of spiritual awakening kind of energy, really. So it's going to be quite special, this conjunction. Now, it does, as I said, almost exactly coincide with the square to Circe, which happens on the same day, February the 15th. So I'm not actually going to adjust the chart to change to that. But it's also about alchemizing and about, I think of the art card in the Thoth deck, which is a cauldron of alchemy, of mixing in all the opposites, bringing everything together and seeing the world differently, creating something new. Now, the last major aspect is a square to Hecate. And this kind of brings me back to that deck that I used where I pulled the card from. Okay, which again is the Red Seeds Tarot. And Hecate is the way shower. She is the lady of the lamp. She is showing us which way, which direction to take. And this is Venus's last exact major aspect before she moves into Aries on February the 20th. And so Venus is here at 27 degrees. It's going to say we can show the way, show the path from the journey that we've been through. And Hecate is in Gemini. And this is again about those changed perceptions. We've had the doors of perception opened, if you like. We are the seeker of torches. We are seeking these new creative environments to create something much more magical and much newer in the world. And so, we are just ready then to move into the fire sign of Aries, which is the wands or the torches are the fire sign, and move forward and take action on what magic has emerged in Venus's journey through Pisces. I could not be more excited about this journey, to be quite honest. It's kind of, I love Venus in Pisces, but then, as I said, I actually have Venus and Neptune conjunct at the very top of my chart, so which is why my whole website and everything, or my whole membership, is called I'm just going to get this, is called Venus Enchantment Community. So check that out below. And now a short shout out for my sponsor for my podcast. I have got the great pleasure of talking about Four Sigmatic. Four Sigmatic make coffee. So I have my coffee and I have it in my Rose of Venus mug just for this video specifically. Now, Four Sigmatic is a sciencey way of saying really good for you. They actually turn the planet's most astoundingly nutrient-dense ingredients into things you'll love having every day. So Four Sigmatic helps people achieve elevated wellness with the world's most nutrient-dense ingredients. They make coffee, protein, cacao, elixirs, super powders, blends. And I've been drinking the coffee for quite a while. I've still got some other little samples to try out, but I love the coffee so much that I've actually already signed up myself for a subscription. And so their coffee with the extra ingredients of things like lion's mane and chaga mushrooms actually really kind of wakes up your mind and increases your focus and your mood. I can tell when I drink that coffee as opposed to regular coffee, because I just feel much more alert, much more focused, and I'm getting a lot more done, which is wonderful. So give it a try with my code COSMIC, and there's a link in the show notes. You actually get 30% off your first order, and whereas you get 20% without my code. So don't forget to use my code, and it's risk-free. If you don't like it, it's money back. So give it a try. If you don't drink coffee, maybe try one of the protein powders. They also contain all kinds of healthy goodies that are going to help you improve your focus and your mood. So for Sigmatic, it's a win, and thank you for their sponsorship. We work with the Venus cycle. So I've actually moved Let me move back to the ingress of, okay. And then I am going to get, we're going to start with Pisces because she's moving into your sign to look at the all signs. So it will move Venus along, but that's fine. You can see here. So Venus is in Pisces, Pisces rising. She's in your first house. This is the face that you put on the world. This is how people meet you one-on-one. It's kind of your receptionist, okay, the first house. And so you are just going to appear like a goddess of fun and light with Venus in Pisces. You're going to have almost this Marilyn Monroe effect on people. So I would milk it, to quite honest, to the biggest degree. I would be a little bit wary with Venus in Pisces, especially with the conjunction with Neptune going to be in your first house. So this is mainly for Pisces rising. Pisces sun, you'll get some of this too, that there can be a little bit of savior mode coming in this. And there can be a little bit of attraction, because Venus is often attraction of those who need saving, who are kind of little losers, victims in the world. But you are just going to be a goddess of fun and light for this period of 4 weeks where Venus is moving through the sign of Pisces, almost 4 weeks. Unfortunately, it's too brief, but she's moving really fast at the moment. So, okay, so we'll move on. Aries rising. Aries rising. This really for you is about your connection with the mysteries, with kind of channeled creativity, the connection with the unconscious. You really might want to spend a lot of time alone, or doing meditation, or doing some shamanic journey work, or just sitting in nature. Spend a lot of time around water, just to allow these messages to come in. And just, stop being this human being and human doing, and to be a human being, to allow this collective unconscious really to permeate your senses just for this short period, which is less than 4 weeks. Tap into the magic of whatever the mysteries are for you and the collective unconscious. And then you might find some real magic, Aries rising. Taurus, for you, this is going to be about, this is in the area of groups, organizations, and friendships, and causes. You might be really attracted to some idealist causes during this time for Taurus rising. But Venus is your ruling planet, Venus rising. So this is also about your hopes and wishes for the future. This is a tremendous time for you to create a really magical vision board, or write your ideal vision, and to really kind of tap into your ideals. That doesn't mean that you can't be realistic and sensible about it later, but it's okay to feel into that magic. You don't have to be this grounded, rooted, sensible kind of person all the time. Just allow yourself to feel the magic, and then you can work on those ideals later. So just think about what your big dreams are, what you really want, what you really desire. Venus is earthly desire. Think of that. Gemini rising. This for you is all in the area of visibility, of your public visibility, and your career, perhaps your job. It could be your job, but it could also just be how you are presented out to the public. You're going to be kind of this goddess of fun and light to the public. People are going to see you and suddenly be way more attracted to you. Whereas for Pisces rising, this is more one-on-one. Yours is out in the world. People are going to kind of see you as floating through the world as this really kind of love magnet, really. And so it's quite magical and quite spicy. So enjoy it. Cancer rising. This is all about higher sources of expansion and inspiration. higher philosophies, higher exploration of perhaps you could go and study the Eleusinian mysteries, or study the ancient myths and really kind of feel into them and learn into this higher connected knowledge, and perhaps do some actual experience of the divine. You know, maybe go and explore a Buddhist temple or something like that, or just through your own personal experience. Whereas the for the 12th house, for who was that for Pisces, right? That was Aries rising, is more solitary. This would probably take you to groups, and you might be called to go to, I don't know, a Unitarian church to experience it, or a Quakers, or something like that. But it doesn't have to be a formal religion. It's just some kind of higher experience of the divine. Could be a drum circle, for example. Go and find something like that that connects you in with other people. A kind of cultural divine experience would be a great idea for you. Leo rising. For Leo rising, this is in your area of intimacy. This is deep, sensual, sexual connection with somebody you're in a deeply bonded relationship with, and that can include yourself. This is like magical, divine, spiritual, like almost telepathic connection during this time. Just sink into it and allow it, Leo rising. Just enjoy it. Don't be all like, look at me. This is a mergy fun energy. So just make the most of it. Virgo. For Virgo, this is your significant relationships. You're going to feel so much more attuned with those that you are in significant relationship with. And this can be your partner, but it can also be business relationships, close friends, adult children. You're going to be a lot more attuned. There is a slight caution with this for you, Virgo, because Virgo rising, you are natural givers of the world. You're natural service. You like to be of use, that you could attract those that just want to take and take and take from you for this short period, because you'll feel so empathic and so connected with what's going on with them that you'll just want to over and over give. Remember to give to yourself first. So, okay, so Venus, self-love, self-care, do that first, then you can give to others so that your cup's filled first. Libra rising, well, of course, for you, Libra, Venus is your ruling planet as well, like Taurus rising. This for you is in the area of service. Be careful not to form, it's kind of a little bit like Virgo rising in many ways, that you could be so connected with others and with the divine that you just might want to be turned into servitude. But at the healthier expression of it, you've got this real connection with kind of the priestess energy, and want to kind of go and wash people's feet and make them feel better and be of use in the world. So it might be a really good time for you, Libra rising, to go and, you know, maybe do some volunteer work in a soup kitchen that fills your soul and helps others too. Just add that into kind of your daily routine, at least for this period, and then maybe you'll keep it up afterwards. Scorpio rising. This is highly creative for you, Scorpio rising. This is in the area of creative self-expression and joy and the inner child, and children as well. If you have children, you're going to be really feeling very connected to those children. But this is creative. What brings you joy? Do you want to get out a big canvas and do some intuitive art and splash the paint on it? Do you want to tune into channeling some kind of creative being, even if it's just in dressing and more creatively, and you know, whatever lights your boat, really. It's just about pure creative self-expression. So it's quite beautiful for you, beautiful for everybody. but you get the idea. Sagittarius rising. This is in the area of your inner life and the home. So you're going to be really connected to your family, to your home. You might want to beautify your home and purify it and cleanse it a bit. You might want to spend a lot of time in your bath if you have a lovely bath, having long salt baths and having and kind of rubbing nice lotions all over yourself. This would be a lovely thing to do for you, Sagittarius rising, so you can feel into your inner self. And spend a lot of time around that water and showers and things like that. But more, you're going to be a little bit home-based for a Sagittarius rising for this time, and that's okay too. Capricorn rising, this is in the third house of your perceptions, your voice, your learning. You may start learning more or perceiving things differently during this time because of almost like information that's just coming to you, and synchronicities and things that you notice. That second attention that I mentioned, which is kind of looking at something once and then kind of looking away and looking kind of at it with side eye to look at it a bit differently. I would really use your second attention during this time, Capricorn rising, and some doors of perception are really going to open for you. Aquarius rising. This is all happening, of course, in your birthday month, so happy birthday to all you Aquarians. This is happening in your second house, which is about your self-esteem, your self-worth, your connection with the material world, which includes how you earn your money. But this is more, to my mind, about your connection with the physical world. You're going to feel this interconnectedness with plants, with your body, with trees, with nature, with the clouds. So spend a lot of time kind of tuning in, even going out and talking to the trees. Why not? Okay. And that's taken us back to the beginning. So that's all your signs. So thank you for listening. I do want to give my sponsor a shout out. I'm going to actually insert an ad into this thing because I do have a sponsor and I forgot to mention him halfway through. So there will be an ad, but this at the end. For Sigmatic coffee, I'm drinking their coffee, or I was, but I got so engrossed in Venus that I forgot to mention it. But for Sigmatic coffee contains, it's really, really good for you. It enhances focus, it boosts your mood and supports your immune system. Four Sigmatic coffee is mixed with functional mushrooms like lion's mane and chaga, and these superfoods are some of the most studied wellness supporting supplements on the planet. Okay, so and Four Sigmatic also makes protein powders, cacao, elixirs, super powders and blends. And with my code, which is Cosmic, there's a link below in the show notes, you actually get 30% off your first order. And it's also try it risk-free. If you don't love it, you get your money back. But I am loving it. I love it so much. I've already signed up to order more myself. So give it a try. Give Four Sigmatic a try. If you like coffee, give them a try first. If you're not a coffee drinker, maybe go and try their super powders in a cool beverage or something, because mushrooms are immensely good for you. And they're actually really related to the Eleusinian mysteries, because magic mushrooms and psilocybin, I promise you there's none of that in this, but if there was, it might be magical too. So for now, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.